If you would like an opportunity to be on Crazy Love Chronicles and tell your story of betrayal, infidelity, ghosting, being ghosted, catfish, and many more things, crazy relationships, contact us at crazylovechronicles@gmail.com or send us a message on any of our social media platforms and we will contact you. Please stay tuned for our next session. Our story, your story, real and uncut.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us today on Crazy Love Chronicles with your host, Chanel and Ace.
How you doing?
Today, we would like to introduce Damien. How are you, Damien?
Hi, how you doing?
What's going on?
So today, you are the betrayed in this story. Is that correct?
Yes.
So tell us about that.
Basically, I was married. My kid's mother decided that she was going to step outside the marriage. And basically, when she stepped outside the marriage, it was the guy that she, quote unquote, supposed to be training her and supposed to be her friend, that wound up being my son's karate teacher, which I now discovered that now he's the person that she's sleeping, that she's supposedly sleeping with now.
Okay.
So mostly, she kind of tried to keep things normal between us, but it was not normal. Where I was no longer feeling though I was even desired. Pretty much, I was torn, pissed, and angry at the same time.
That's understandable. So, how did you meet, you and your wife?
Well, with that whole situation, we tried to make things work out back together, but it would never work. It didn't come to find out the whole time. The only reason she married me was to do the right thing.
Okay, so in the beginning, tell me about the beginning. Like, where'd you meet and,
Well, she's from New York, so I met her actually here in Baltimore.
Okay. Well, how long?
And I said, go ahead.
I was going to say, how long were you together before you married?
I was 19 when I first married. It was about 23 before I got married. So we were together for at least about 3 years before we actually got married.
Okay. Was it love at first sight for you?
No, I don't really believe in love at first sight.
Okay, so this was something that you build on and everything else.
Yeah.
What was it about her?
Even at age 19, I was never the type of male that was solely built on looks.
Okay.
I had to build something between that person for me to actually feel like that, because usually I'm pretty much the guarded type of guy.
What was it about her that maybe drew y'all together?
Well, she wasn't superficial. She wasn't the type of female that basically was so in tune with everything in the world. She knew how to tune things out.
Okay.
And like I said, she got to know me where most people at that age is mostly just all superficial.
Okay, so that made her different and that made her stand out to you.
Mm-hmm.
So when did you first feel like something was wrong? Like, what were the first signs?
She started to decide to start hanging out without me. Basically, she said, "Well, I want to hang out with my friends. I can't do stuff like I can't see myself partying with my husband." Which I'm like, that don't make sense to me, because that's when you do party. That's the person you party with, because that's the person you said you wanted to be with. And then stuff started to change. Intimacy started lacking. I started feeling like something was wrong, or something was going on. And before she could say it, I already sensed it before it happened.
Mm-hmm. So then when you notice something's wrong, something's different, and did you say, hey, like, are you cheating on me? I'm feeling like that.
No, see, I don't. I'm with me being spiritual. I believe in
Mm-hmm.
And what happened was we got in an argument. She disappeared, and she kind of forgot I had a GPS on our phones in case something happened. And where the GPS led me to was the same place the guy lived at. And when I came and I asked her, so where did you go at? And she was like, well, I went to the store. So you told me down the street, took you almost an hour to come from the store. And she's like, where you getting at? I know where you was at. I GPS you. She said, I knew that. I said, so why you rather just beat around the bush? You just tell me the truth. Then she went into, yes, we sleeping with each other, and I don't want to be with you no more, and it's fine.
Mm. So once you got to that point where she then is truthful and you know, as much as you think she was, in turn, I don't know if she told you the whole truth, if you found out a little bit at a time, or if she told you all at once. But once you get to that place, what was the next step? Did you separate? Did you go to counseling?
She wrote a separation paper so fast right after she said it. It was like she planned all this stuff.
Mm. So you think she had already it all in the works prior to you ever finding out?
Yeah, and it's like one of those things that my mother always told me. A woman don't start cheating physically, they start cheating mentally before they go into the physical side of it. So it was already this on work inside. I never knew when it was, but it was already there.
Mm-hmm.
So when it got to that point, I was like, basically, we were still living in the same household. The guy that came to the house, she always left out to go see him. And basically, I went through the whole part of I don't need you, I'm good, to I'm falling apart. To during that time when it happened, I was mad. I was on workers' comp because I fell 15 feet to my back. So nevertheless, dealing with infidelity, I'm trying to heal back from being injured. So I'm dealing with all different other complications just due to the fact that having a terrible shell around me and having two sons and them trying to understand where's mom going at, why she leaves on the weekend and we don't see her on the weekend. It's just us.
Right. So your kids start to notice a difference. And do you feel like you were the one left to try to answer most of those questions?
Most cases I was. And luckily at that time, my youngest noticed it, but he was not at a certain age where he could easily vocal it. Now my oldest was able to vocal it.
So how do you take care of yourself mentally as you go through this phase? Did you feel like you still loved her while you're separating?
Yeah, but it took a while to when I was going through what I was going through, the drinking part. I became isolated. Didn't really want to do too much. All I really wanted to do was spend time with my sons because I really didn't want to deal with nobody. But some people say, well, go out and deal with somebody else. It's harder when you're not that person. When it's not within inside you to be that type of person.
Right. To just jump from one person to the next.
Yep. And every single time, like, I would talk to family members and they would be like, well, won't you just leave? I said, it's kind of harder than that. I said, vows became a part of it, and the other part of it, I didn't believe in divorced at that point in time.
Mm-hmm.
So I was struggling with inside my own battle and struggling with the same thing, seeing the same thing happen with my parents. And the fear of I don't want to be them. That actually we got back together after all this stuff. And when we got back together, I was now at my last straw. Like, you know what? I'm going to start dating. I said I tried for 2 years to try to get this back together. And I could clear my mind and walk away from it. And just when I started to is when she wanted to be back together. But when we got back together, I was no longer the same guy that she was used to.
Mm-hmm.
You changed completely.
I I wouldn't say completely, I was still me, but at the same time, it was a new, different edge. It was just like, well, you're not doing this, you're not doing that. I said, what do you expect from me? You never try to deal with the actual situation. You kind of just walk back into it thinking that everything's going to be fine.
Right, right. So you were still basically traumatized from what had happened.
Mm-hmm.
And she didn't understand that heartbreak is trauma, you know?
And she was still doing the going out stuff. And I'm like, I said, I don't see nothing changing. And the thing was, when we got back together, she's like, well, you're not trying to have sex with me. You're not trying to do nothing with me. I don't understand. She don't know why. I told her, I said, sometimes you don't understand. Even us males can get to a point where we will shut down.
That's definitely true.
I didn't want to be bothered. I didn't want to be touched. I didn't want to, it was like a different aspect inside me. Like I couldn't be around it.
Mm-hmm. Do you feel like she rushed you through that process where maybe if she would have been a little bit more patient and given you a little bit more time?
Yeah, it was like, I don't know what happened during the time, those 2 years while I know she messed with two different guys at that point that I knew of. But somewhere down the line, something went wrong and it turned back towards me. Like a part of me was happy, but now the spit that I said, there was a whole different side that I wasn't used to. I was never that type of person to be suspicious. I took you on your word and it was what it was.
Mm-hmm.
If it changed at that point, I know not to trust you again. But I grew with a suspicious side now. What was your motive? What was the reason for you to get back with me? Or was it that you couldn't see that I was moving on and I didn't care no more, so you went to go grab back from me once I didn't give you the attention that you was used to during that point? I was asking so many questions that I really never got answers for. Because even after now we're going through divorce, we get along as friends, but I never tried to understand what was your reason getting back with me, what was going on, why did it fall apart. I no longer cared for it. I still care for it because of my kid's mother and the relationship that we had and we're friends, but when it comes down to relationship, I could never do it again.
I wonder, did you ever feel like there was things you could have done differently to save your marriage, to not make her step out?
No. I thought that in the beginning stage, I put all the blame on me at that point, but not realizing I had blame and she had blame. Until that was going to be recognized, it was always going to be an issue. And by that point, once you no longer, I said, I'm the type of person where if you don't got me mentally, you cannot even have me physically. So a lot of that shut down. Mm-hmm. Like I thought finding myself like, I don't care. All I'm caring about is being a father to my sons and making sure that you're fine with the boys and that we co-parenting. Other than that, I had no desire to being around her on that physical level or anything that I'm used to, because all the image that I had in my head from the time that we've been together up to that point has completely changed.
Right. I can definitely relate to that. I understand that. So for anybody that's been through what you've been through, do you have any advice on, how to get through it, how to get to a point of peace, or
First
a point of closure?
Find someone that you can talk to that you can relate to on that matter. Not so much trying to dog the person out. Try to see both sides. Trying to see it from your own point of view sometimes becomes more harmful to you than helpful. Then the other thing is, if you're going back into another relationship, make sure that you're completely over that person and you gave yourself time to heal from it. Because it took me basically 3 years to heal from it. I went celibate because of it. Because I didn't want to carry no baggage to any female. Mm-hmm. Those scars, because even though they may not be her, if they did something at that was maybe close to the mannerism, I don't even want to feel like I'm striking against them because the trauma that I'm reminded by that person is coming through them. So I wanted to give a person a fair chance. But the outcome of it now is I'm highly suspicious anytime I'm talking to a female, and most cases where I have been trying to start a relationship, stuff would start to be revealed to me that I can't ignore no more. And it's like I will think that it's me that's trying to destroy, trying to get close to him, but I would start paying attention to things that I didn't pay attention to, like with my kid's mother, the attentive if I'm talking to someone and getting close to them. Then I'm realizing that person's really not getting close to me because I'm spending most of my time calling you, saying how you doing, but you're not once pick up the phone and see how I'm doing, or I'm crossing your mind. That because of that, my relationship with my kid's mother allowed me to understand if someone's really into me and when they're not into me. Not that I'm painting a picture in my head that I want the person to be versus what they really are to me in the present.
Mm-hmm.
But the best thing is just try. It's like most times people think that when they walk out of a marriage or walk out of a relationship where they've been cheated on, that's all the only person you ever going to have in your life. That's what you feel, because if you've been with a person that long, you don't see nothing past that. And you start to rediscover yourself during that time. So take the time to rediscover yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes you lose a part of yourself in a relationship, and it takes time for you to regain a certain type of independence, but nevertheless realizing that you should never lose who you are when you're in a relationship.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's definitely great advice.
Definitely believe that. 100%. Happens all the time, though.
Yeah, and I tell people I'm not the person that I don't believe I'm gonna get married again. I just don't focus on that. I focus on more of a connection and a deeper understanding with that person before I even get to that point.
Mm-hmm. Do you feel like this experience just made you more wiser?
Most definitely, yeah. It made me more wiser. It made me pay attention to more what I'm looking for, and if I fit that goal for that person.
Okay.
Because I'm 35 and I'm seeing a lot of people out here still going for the superficial things, and some of them are older than me.
Okay, well, we really appreciate it. We thank you for giving us this opportunity to interview you. Very compelling story. Definitely a lot of things that I was able to relate to, and my wife was able to relate to.
We also want to thank our listeners for tuning in, and thank you for your time, and everybody have a good night.
Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to Crazy Love Chronicles. You can check us out on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You can stay tuned to us on Spreaker, Spotify. You can watch us on YouTube, but please be sure to subscribe. Click the bell to be notified for future videos by Crazy Love Chronicles. Our story, your story, real and uncut.